Well, guys, man, we got to talk about how Cleveland Browns general manager Andrew Berry, man, he is straight cooking in the draft. He is straight putting on a masterclass. He's basically outsmarting some of these GMs in the NFL, and he's getting picks that shouldn't really be available at the time that he's getting these picks. And Andrew Berry is building a team in Cleveland that is ready to compete and ready to take the next step forward. And like I've always said, man, you got your franchise quarterback, man. You just got to build around him. Kudos to Andrew Berry for what he has done in these last two drafts in 2025 and 2026. Make no mistake about it, Andrew Berry is serving them on a hot plate. You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sapp. But we got to talk about how Cleveland Browns general manager Andrew Berry is getting picks that he really wants. And we're going to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Sapp, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your top picks. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio stereo. Pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic. Man, I got something to say.
Well, guys, man, we got to talk about Andrew Berry, man. Andrew Berry is serving a masterclass in this year's 2026 NFL draft, man. And Andrew Berry is setting himself up for a nice day 3 in this NFL draft. And what Andrew Berry has done here in the first and second round, man, he's pulling off a hat trick. And Andrew Berry is straight cooking. Andrew Berry is building this team in the trenches, and he's building this team with some offensive weapons. And in that first round, with that 24th pick, when they went and got KC Concepcion, he addressed two needs at once: help out on the special teams on the punt return, and also wide receiver, a weapon for Shedeur Sanders. And also with that first pick, where they had the 6th pick, and Andrew Berry made a smart move and traded back to the 9th and got himself another pick in the second round. Andrew Berry did some things that a lot of people think that he couldn't do. He pulled off some things. And with that first pick, went and got offensive tackle Spencer Fanu, and that's some beef up there. You got somebody that's standing 6'6", 320 pounds, put up on that line to protect Shedeur Sanders and help out with that run game, pass blocking and run blocking, and you building in the trenches, man, you setting yourself up for a good season. Like we've always said, man, newfound joy in Cleveland, man. And it all started with the first day of minicamp when we heard Shedeur Sanders speak at his press conference in the minicamp. And he's excited, man. No negativity, bring in positive energy. And that's get this team on a winning track, man. And it all starts with the reporters, like he said. It starts with the insiders. Y'all got to believe, man. None of this negativity. Y'all going to want to have success for this team. Stop putting people down. And what Andrew Berry has done, he has stood 10 toes down and told everybody. When he brought Todd Monken in as the new head coach, they letting it be known, man, this is the new Cleveland, man. This is the new Cleveland, man. And they got pieces, and they building around that franchise quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. And the things that Andrew Berry has been able to do, man, I'm telling you, in that first round, you know, at number 9, you went and got Spencer Fanu. And then with the 24th pick, you got KC Concepcion. And then what happened? We just saw day 2 of the draft. He went and got Denzel Boston at number 39. A lot of people wanted Denzel Boston out of Washington. Big guy. They got him listed as 6'3", but they say he's 6'4", 212 pounds. the catch radius. He's a end zone threat, a jump ball type guy. And with KC Concepcion, what he does is he's one of them, like Zay Flowers type dude, one of them zigzag guys, man. Put him in the slot, put him in the movement, and he can create separation on a slant and take it to the house. And then what happens is, man, Andrew Berry traded back in to the second round and picked up a stud in Emmanuel McNeil Warren, that's safety out of Toledo. I don't know if a lot of guys watch Peanut Tillman play. He was a ball hawk where he knocked the ball out. This is the type of safety that Andrew Berry went out and got from Toledo and Emmanuel McNeil Warren. And to get him at the 58th pick in the second round, that's a steal. Now you just enhanced your defense that's already one of the best defenses in the NFL. And then what happened is, if you look at the way Emmanuel McNeil Warren plays, man, he's a turnover waiting to happen every time he sees sight on a receiver or a running back. He's making a play to get that ball out, causing turnovers. And then he got some insurance in the third round with the 86th pick when he got Austin Barber, the offensive tackle out of Florida. So you done got 5 guys that are potential starters day one. And Andrew Berry is cooking. I got to give kudos to Andrew Berry. So let's take a listen to what Andrew Berry had to say on his successful day in the draft on day 1 and day 2. Take a listen to what Andrew Berry had to say.
That we added, the 3 guys that we added, but also how we were able to add to our resource base in 27, and then how we're positioned for tomorrow afternoon, with several other day 3 picks. So obviously a lot of action, a lot of movement, throughout the evening tonight, but we're pleased with where we ended up. And so with that, I'll open up with questions.
Andrew, I'm sure you didn't come in tonight and you'd make this many trades, but when do you get a sense that it could be just that kind of night for you?
It's usually just based on the action that you get or how the board falls. I'll be honest, Dan, we try to stay pretty nimble and flexible, just because you never know, when the next opportunity is going to come up. And I think that's actually one of the benefits of having volume and quality with your picks, because there are more opportunities to maneuver up and down the board.
Ed, were you surprised with some of the guys that fell in your lap, like Denzel Lawson and Warren to begin with, that were first-round projections?
I was probably most surprised with E-Man. We figured that Denzel could go anywhere from late 1 to early 2, just to be truthful. But E-Man, he wasn't someone that we anticipated being there as late as he was. So when he got within striking distance, we felt the move was appropriate. To be truthful, he was in play for us at 39.
Look at what you did with your wide receiver room. Can you sort of talk about what you have globally from your pass-catching core right now and how this might impact like a Jerry Jeudy or anybody like that?
Zero impact on Jerry. He's our bell cow. We feel like we have a nice and I think with receiver rooms, you can have, maybe a ball dominant player, or you can essentially build a basketball team, with different skill sets. We prefer the second approach. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll take Calvin Johnson if he's out there, but we feel like we have a nice, well-rounded room with speed, rack, contested catchability, separation. So we're really pleased with, the youth and talent in that group.
On that trade for Emmanuel, do you get a sense that another team is going to take it on? When do you know when to pull the trigger on this?
So they're probably 2 separate situations, Jeff. One is when you do have maybe an inkling that you're going into a stretch where a player or a group of players will be target for several teams, and you're trying to get ahead of it. Another may just be, and I would put the Emmanuel trade and then what we did for JOK in 2021 in this bucket, where you have a player that you just didn't expect to be in a certain range of the draft, and there's a certain level of okay, you don't necessarily have a team identified that's going to take that player off the board, but you look at your resources and say, hey, this is a price that I'm willing to pay for this skill set for this guy relative to what you think you're getting?
Now, guys, you heard what Andrew Berry had to say, man. And like I've told you guys, man, he's not ready to give up on Jerry Jeudy. I mean, there's all kinds of speculations out there that, you know, Jerry Jeudy must be traded. Jerry Jeudy can be packaged up in a trade deal. We haven't seen that just yet, but what Andrew Berry just said is, you know, he's their bell cow. He's their wide receiver. But then you add some talented guys around Jerry Jeudy, man. Like he said, you got the speed, you got the yak, you got the rack, you got the big catch radius, man. Guys that are able to catch the ball, contested catches. And I know a lot of people was talking about KC Concepcion's, you know, drop passes, but guys haven't looked at his film where he's made a lot of contested catches in traffic. So I'm not pretty much worried about that. I just think Andrew Berry is setting himself up great and setting this Cleveland Browns organization up for the future with that future, you know, looking down the road and with that franchise quarterback that they got in Shedeur Sanders, man. So guys, man, come along for the ride, man. It's the new Cleveland. It's the new media and all the negativity is out the window. But what Andrew Berry is doing in this draft, he's putting on a masterclass, man. It's just like he's outsmarting a lot of these GMs, man. But at the same time, man, going into day 3, let's see what he got in his big pot that he got on the stove right now, that he's heating up right now. Once again, going into day 3. But you got to give kudos to Andrew Berry, man. And I think a lot of these Cleveland insiders are upset that Andrew Berry is pulling off what he's pulling off. And we're going to see and check the temperature on these Cleveland insiders if they on board, if they really want Cleveland Browns to win instead of just undermining a certain individual in the quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.